I wanted to share a couple of things in our meeting today. Number one, I wanted to walk through the investment settings and a
Mm-hmm.
combination that seems quite reasonable to make a little bit of money every month, sort of on an average,
Okay.
without too much drawdowns.
Okay.
So, so we will discuss that, and then we will spend a little bit of time on what are the booster pack strategies and what are the turbo pack strategies.
Okay.
Okay, so let's first go to one particular piece of information which is here. Do you guys all understand the purpose of the custom strategy link?
No.
Okay, so let me first clarify that because that will help you navigate the portfolio better. So if you go to the investment settings page, and I'll open it in a new tab,
Mm-hmm.
um, and if you go down to this section where you have
Mm-hmm.
all subscriptions, this particular
Mm-hmm.
section, um, you do have all these buttons for each strategy. So milestone plus, swing plus, all the strategies that you actually see in these drop downs
Mm-hmm.
back here. So for all of these strategies in the account settings, you do have a yes and no selection button.
Yes.
So once you select these yeses and nos and update and click this button, which is update your subscriptions, then that creates a custom page for you. So if you select all of them as yes, for example, then the custom strategy page here will give you a combination of all of the above strategies. So now I'm going in there. So if I go in and open custom strategy page, it's opening up, and it gives me 778 trades. We'll go later into what these are. But if you go slightly down, you can see that wherever it was a yes, you are getting those trades here. So swing boost, you are getting those trades. Milestone boost, you're getting the trades. Zor contra, you're getting the trades, and so on and so forth, because these are the selected yeses. Whatever
Okay.
is a no, like Zor boost and QRS boost, you will not see um, you will not see a trade um, in here. So is that clear, or is there a question about that first?
So if you go to
You go to the settings page, account settings
setting.
page,
Mm-hmm.
and you go towards the all subscription section of the settings page.
Uh-huh.
And then when you see these name strategy names, milestone
Mm-hmm.
plus, swing boost, and so on, all the way to Vega boost,
Mm-hmm.
you, depending upon what you have selected, whether it's a yes or a no,
Mm-hmm.
the custom strategy page is built as a combination of all the yeses.
Okay.
Okay. So now how does that help? That helps because let's say if you like two strategies or three strategies and then want to create some sort of combination out of those rather than sticking to just one,
Mm-hmm.
then you can create those strategies and the custom page will tell you what is the result that the back tester has given you, how many trades you were to make, what is your expected profit per trade, what was the win ratio of the trades in the past, and so on.
Okay.
Okay, now if you choose just one strategy, let's say if I make all of these nodes and then just choose milestone plus, just for argument's sake, then the custom strategy page will come out to be similar to if you just open the milestone plus page.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an important concept to understand because what I'm going to describe in a minute is actually going to flow out of this particular concept. So if there is any question about this, let's go through that before I dive in one level deeper. Okay.
So I think Ash, I think you were last time kind of indicating in the last meeting. You said that stick to one strategy where you are more like we are more comfortable or more where you see more advantages, and then stick to that and stick to the long term instead of like switching between the strategies like so uh, this I think the custom strategy was like, okay, if you see out of all the 10 or 12 strategies, if I see that 2 or 3 are interesting, so I could make it to the custom strategy and I can follow all 3 at once as part of this subscription, right?
Yes, yes, that's absolutely correct. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
And it also helps you simulate all these 3 strategies together. So
Yes.
so that's another advantage.
So which is a good strategy to choose?
Okay, so so I was going there. So because but it was important for us to understand this particular concept before we go there. So in last month and a half, since September last week, the market has been misbehaving, and therefore lots of people have asked this question on, if I want to control my risk, I just want to, put $10,000, $12,000 to this play, which strategy do I pick? And there are many ways to make that decision. And key being that you look for a strategy which gives you basically the highest average US dollar per profit per trade. Number one, it gives you a higher win ratio, and number three, it doesn't give you a huge drawdown. So these are the 3 primary criterions. Now, based on that, what we discussed in the last week's call was that if you go to booster packs, these strategies here, which are basically versions of the mainline strategies, but it has some additional checks built in so that you buy comparatively cheaper call options. They give you a better play in many scenarios compared to main strategies by controlling your risk. And when I say controlling your risk, let's first go and understand what that means in terms of account settings. So I'll go back here because this is the key thing to control the risk and minimize the exposure totally. So let's understand these couple of settings again, and these are in the default settings page. So first one is target profit per trade. Right now you see this particular slider is set at 100%. So what you are basically saying is that on every trade you will only exit if you double your money, which is the 100% profit, or you will not exit. You can adjust this left or right, but for now it is set at 100%. The second setting is the buy limit per trade, and this is kind of important. This is key because the more left this slider is, the more aggressive, the cheaper options you will get on the web page, which means that all the aggressive plays will be taken out of the strategy. So if you go all the way towards right, you will basically get lots and lots of trades. They'll be aggressive, your win ratio will be low, you will have to trade a lot. Of course you will make a lot of money as well, but the time is spent making those trades will also go up drastically. On the other hand, if you take this setting and take the slider to 2%, then and of course you set this up, then you will not get super aggressive trades, which means you will not get trades with very high implied volatility and comparatively high option pricing. So that is number 2. And the third setting is the stop loss setting. So again, so what this means is right now the slider is set at 5%. What it means is that you are pretty much willing to lose 95% of your investment in every trade, and you will not exit out of it. And the last one is you will not make more than $250 per trade. So you will commit only 250 or less to every trade. So these are key because this is what is going to help you control your risk. So if you turn your investment you per trade all the way down to left, your target buy limit to 2%, and your target profit per trade to 100%, then I have been able to create a combination of strategies which look like this, and we will go deeper into what is that combination. But let's first look at the results. So this is the custom strategy page. Again, this is coming from here, right here. Okay, so this combination of settings gave you about 770 trades in last since January of 2017. And it helped you make about $69-70 per trade with a 58% win ratio, which is very high, I believe, for doubling your money. And then out of these 770 trades, 78 trades, 436 trades made more than 100%. So that's the results we get. So basically over a period of 2 years, you would make about, let's say, 800 trades, which turns out to be about 400 trades a year, which turns out to be about 2 trades every day. Still, if we consider that market is open 250 days, so slightly less than 2 trades a day. Now, if we go down, this is where it becomes interesting. So the chart is very nice in the profit made over time because the drawdowns are extremely limited. If you choose any one strategy, whichever strategy that is, as we talked, we have to consider what is the drawdown. So there are some strategies which go up pretty fast, but if the market crashes like it did in last 1 week or 2 weeks, then it goes down faster as well. But this is a combination which has gone from zero. Of course, that was the zero profit at the start of the 2017 January. It went up to about 37,000, or let's say, where is January? So this is end of 2017. So it went up to 35. Then it pretty much stayed stable for 3-4 months before it started creeping up again, went up to 47, and then crept up again to 53 and has been stayed there for a while. So it's a very nice linear graph. What that means is that if you had followed all these 778 trades, you would have been and you would have invested $250 or less in every trade, then you would have been up about $53,000 over last 1 year and 11 months. Okay, and your investment in this strategy, since we are going for about $250 per trade, is probably starting investment is about $10,000 to $12,000, not more than that, which covers for round about 40 trades, which are at the bottom of the screen, like right here, from here. Okay. So now this kind of grazes the question on what is the strategy that you can use. So this is one possibility. The investment settings that you have to use have to be very clearly understood, and so that has to be like this. And the key is which is a yes and which is a no. So this strategy is a combination of 10 strategies basically, and it doesn't use Zor Boost. You can see a no here. It doesn't use Swing Plus, and it doesn't use Milestone Plus. So this is one possible combination that any of us could use. Okay, so any questions before we try and play around a little bit with this?
Yeah, one question. So you put the buy limit target at 2%?
Yeah, let's go here again. So what we were looking at, the target profit per trade is 100%. The buy limit target is 2%. The target stop loss is 5%, which means basically I never sell. Even if it crashes down to like $1, I never sell.
Okay.
and maximum investment per trade is 250.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, and every strategy is a yes except swing plus, which is a no, milestone plus, which is a no, QR. Oh no, there are more than that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 no's. Milestone plus is a no, swing plus is a no, QRS boost is a no, ZOR boost is a no. So that combination gets you to these results. So that is one play that you guys can do, that just combine strategies and see which one works. But clearly this is one cookie cutter approach that I would suggest that if you start, then you can use. I think you are kind of dipping your fingers, dipping your toes, and try to see pick any 4 and see how they operate, etc. In my personal experience, that has not been very profitable in general. Especially it depends what your goals are. But these strategies tend to work well only if you kind of commit to them and trade pretty much every day or every other day at least.
So where do you see the trades? Do I have to go to each swing boost, each one of them, or do I go to the custom strategy?
So in this case, if you have so if you have, for example, made your account settings look like this, where you have done yes and no's, and if you go back to this the first tab, strategic information, and click custom strategy, then you will see all those trades that you have selected for in the account settings.
Okay, I see it now.
And you see them here, right here. So for example, December 3rd was a trade, and then there has been, of course, yesterday was closed, market was closed, so there was no trade yesterday. So you don't see too many trades basically if you go by this combination. Whole of November, if you notice, November to 1st to December, now there have only been 5 trades on this, out of which couple of them, one is at 53%, the other is at 16, the one here lost money, and the one is just came up yesterday. If you look at October, on the other hand, there have been slightly more number of trades, and you have met your sell target in many of those scenarios. So October has been quite good. So as you can see, in October there were more trades than November, and many of them made money. September, which was the end of September, was a totally bad time, but then the trades that came up towards end of September again naturally made a lot of money because they came out of a market crash. Okay, so you can do that analysis trade by trade, or you can just look at this curve, because this curve matches that. So let's say if we look at, this is July, this is okay, let's see. So this is where September started, and this was 48,000, and end of September you were up about $3,000. Then this is October, so end of October you were up about $1,000-ish, maybe 2,000, and November has been pretty flat because you didn't have too many trades coming up. So make sense? Any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. One question I have is that when I some of trades for some of the trades which came up, like when I see that there is for an option between bid and ask price, there is a lot of gap. Like so, obviously, if I put at the ask price, is going to be too much, and at the same time, so do I need to pay attention to that gap? Like if we say for 30 cents or 40 cents, those are like immediately I'm going to see my account is going to be a negative if I purchase at the ask price, right?
Yeah, never buy at the ask. That's the first rule. Okay.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, if the bid, so what's the normal bid ask spread and what's the reasonable bid ask spread? So, what I do is that if the bid ask spread is, let's say 40-50 cents, then I actually don't care. I put it in the middle. Always put it in the middle because that's the default buy, which is called
Okay.
mark. But there are scenarios where you might find that the bid ask spread is more than that, 70 cents, 80 cents, or $1 or whatever. In that case, always go towards the bid. So
Okay.
pick the bid, imagine that the ask is 30-40 cents above it. And then basically just add 10-20 cents to the bid and put that as your target buy and forget about it. If it comes through, it's great. If it doesn't come through, then the market is basically not priced correctly.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. And you would see that you can actually optimize that a little bit. And I'll go back again to the settings. So for example, there are choices available here in this setting. Choose approximate market cap range setting, and you could choose mid cap, you could choose S&P 500, or you could choose both. So typically what you would see is that the derivatives for mid caps are not as liquid as the derivatives for large cap. So as a result of that, what happens is the derivatives for mid cap, the bid ask spread is much more compared to the derivatives for the large caps. Therefore, if you just choose large caps as your settings, then you will typically not run into the very high bid ask spread issue too much.
Okay.
Okay, but even then, if you run into it, just be a tough buyer. Don't run after a trade.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully that gives you guys a flavor of what is the custom strategy and what is which is this one basically, and what is a good combination of account settings to reach this kind of to achieve these kind of trading results. So I just want to change a couple more things, and then hopefully we can totally be open to questions or close if there are no more questions. So I just want to play with one more setting here, the target profit per trade, because I never stop talking about this. This is a huge lever. So if I change this to 200%, and remember when it was 100%, we'll keep this page open. So this is 778 and $69 profit per trade with win ratio of 58%. So I'm changing this to 200%, and we will open a new version of the custom strategy page so that we can compare against the previous results. So look at the difference that it makes. So let's put that in contrast. The previous setting was 100% gain, target gain, which means that if you are putting in, let's say, $250 or less, you will not come out of the trade until you have doubled your money to $500 or more. In this setting, you are going to only for tripling your money or nothing. So it's basically a triple your money or nothing bet. Okay. The win ratio goes down in this scenario, 47% versus 58%. But look at the average dollar profit per trade. It jumps up tremendously to about $90 from 70. So basically, if you are willing to bet and stay in a trade longer, you will make more money using this combination of strategies. So, and you can see it here. If you had played with this 200% trick, then in 2017 you would have made about let's say, where is end of 2017 here, $46,000. And in 2018, with this up and down market, you will still have made about $25,000. which is much more than what you are making here, which is about 53,000 right now for the 100% setting versus 70,000 here. So does that jive? Do you understand how that happened?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. So because that's the key, and you can go over the trades one by one and do that comparison and see what's happening and how that's happening and why that's happening and so forth, so on and so forth. So because all those numbers are coming from right here, maybe this will tell us. So this trade, PG trade, I'm picking this one. So okay, which one? 304% here. And yeah, see, you can see it actually here. So these trades, this is the trade, October 18 trade, or where is the 306? Yeah. So on the 303, it's the same trade. We are looking at this trade. This happened. This came up on October 8 on the web page, and if your setting was 100%, then you would have exited at $4.40 out of this trade when you had bought it at 150 for a very healthy profit. I agree, but not as healthy as this one. See the difference? So that's how it helps you.
Yeah.
Okay. So any other questions? Otherwise, I think for today we can close the call, and the turbo pack and booster pack discussion we can move to the one of the next later meetings.
I have one question. For example, like on a particular day or day or two, like if I am not able to make a trade, okay, and say for example December 3rd, or if I'm looking at okay, and I still see this triggered as part of that one. So, see, if I want to make a trade which are triggered based upon week or back or 10 days back, and if I'm looking at here, some of the ones which got triggered went negative and some went into positive.
Right.
So can I pick the ones which obviously which are in the positive, means they are already catch up? Maybe they may not be too late to catch up. Or do I need to wait for new trades, or can I pick up the ones which are already which are going negative?
Okay, so I think this is a little bit of a logical fallacy, because the trades which go up, let's say a trade which goes up 300% has to first go up by 20%, right? Or 30% or whatever. So
yes.
So that is one rule. But what I do is that I do not run after trades unless, at least maybe I can run after. I will look at trades for last couple of days or 3 days or 4 days. If I have missed it, otherwise no, not really.
Okay.
And in any case, if you look at it, you have even with these settings, you are looking at about 800 trades over 2 years, which basically translates to about 2 trades every day on an average. Granted that in November it was not too many, clearly, but that's okay. So you will have trades to make in any case. And
so
therefore,
I can wait for next
yeah,
until I get a new one and see if it is.
Yeah, it's always safe that way. It's always safe that way, because I have not simulated, for example, that what the risk with the approach that you said is that then you always keep looking for trades which are let's say slightly cheaper, which seem slightly cheaper because they have gone down a little bit, but that is nothing but anchoring bias, because the algorithm has told you that a trade is $1, so you seem to think that is the right price, but the trades that go down to and lose all your money actually will have to go down by 10% or 15% before they do that, right?
Okay.
So please don't run after trades. You will have enough trades. Some months will be slow, and you will be thankful when those months are slow, because see what happens. November, slow month, right?
Yes.
And look what happened in last couple of days. So you didn't lose any money if you were following this strategy, because you were out of market. So that's
Yeah,
the beauty of following the approach like as closely as you can.
Aisha, I have a question. So, say if I have a trade and it doesn't go into profit before the expiration, do I roll it? Do I close it?
So it depends. So let's say if you have bought a trade and let's see, actually there might be many of those here.
Mhm.
Let's say this one. Okay, so this one I'm just picking this one because it actually reached a stop loss. So this trade came up on April 24th, and sometimes in October it met stop loss. So basically 98% what that means is it basically lost all your money, because there is no point selling it for 2 cents, right?
Mhm.
So what I do is, unless I just look at all my trades, and if it's in the money, because some of those trades you will see in the money a little bit, then I get out of them. If they are left with 2 cents, 5 cents, then I don't care. And I
Okay.
never roll it, to answer your question. No, don't roll that.
Okay. Thank you.
So for example, look at this trade. Okay, so this one. This was a trade that came on April 19th. The option was expiring on July 20th, and it seems that it ended up in the money. So you made a little bit of money if you closed. So don't forget to close it if it's in the money. So because that's kind of leaving money on the table.
Mhm.
But if it's 2 cents, 5 cents, then forget about that. So I don't care. There is, yeah, this one and the one. So yeah, you will see those things. This one, for example, you lost a lot of money, minus 69%, but you still could come up with, let's say, 30% of your initial investment. So that's not bad when the trade expired. So it's okay to close it. 96%, not so much. Okay, so okay.
Okay.
yes.
Okay, all right, guys. Any other questions?
Thank you. No, that's it.
Okay,
That's all, Yash. Okay.
thanks.
Cool.
And
Thank you.
if you have any
Okay.
other questions, comments, yeah, just shoot those on WhatsApp or just send me a text or whatever. And these are kind of tough times, so stay in the market, because in any case, if you follow this particular combination, you don't get too many trades, right?
Mm.
And so if you can only make money in the market if you are in the market. So please control your risk, but stay in the market.
Yep.
All right. Have a good
Okay.
evening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.